Hey guys, how's it going? Just coming at you with another video here. Yeah, I'm just coming at you with this video here because it's December 31st, 2018, the last day of the year. Well, I'm sure in some time zones already. It's already January 1st, 2019, but where I'm at right now, it's not. So yeah. So there's that. So I guess I just want to sit down and just talk. You know, and just talk about just things like well, I guess maybe life a little bit, maybe just some notable things that have happened have happened in this past year. So here it is. I mean, I guess when you do look at this past year, um, I mean, it's got a lot of interesting things happen, uh, and when this year started, certainly start certainly started off with something of a kicker because because I mean that in the sense of like you look at what Logan Paul did, the whole suicide video and all that because you know he was over in Japan and all that, it was in that forest and all that and came across the dead body and what have you and everybody was like rah rah about that. That's like yeah, how about that, huh? I don't know what really happened, all that. Uh, I've heard Mundane Matt say that apparently that was fake and staged and all that, but I don't know. I don't know what really happened. I wasn't there, and but other than he did something stupid, and I guess whatever, and people got pissed off at him. So I mean, and I'm sure y'all saw what happened. So yeah, and then there was the whole shooting down in Parkland, which is in Florida. You know, which is kind of interesting too when you think about it, because usually whenever shootings happen, these high profile ones anyway, usually expected to be the standard routine of like um, a shooting happens, we all feel sad about it, um, um, we all demand gun control, and we may or may not learn about the shooter, and depending on who they are and all that. Um, or even what race they are for that matter. Because usually if it's a white dude, no problem. If it's a Muslim, it's like, oh my god. But so but anyway, so there's that. But it's kind of interesting that a couple of those points did happen. We all feel sad, gun control, blah blah blah. But we kept on talking about it a little bit more after that because usually you would expect it to die down after a little while. Like we just move on to the next one. Um, but it's really just kind of kept talking about it. So it's like, you think it died down. It made celebrities out of a couple of the survivors and all that. No, which is as an aside, I hear that one of the survivors, his name is David Hogg. I hear that he got accepted into Harvard recently. Good for him. You know, but it's a kind of one. I have to wonder what was it about this particular shooting that uh, made the made them keep talking about it for a little while past what you would expect it to be the due date, I guess. And I guess when I say due date, you expect it to just fizzle out, but just you know. Then again, I'm not sure if due date is the correct term, but I'm sure, hopefully you'll get what I mean. Um, I don't know. It's just I don't think there was anything in March that I can really think of and all that. Um, April. What was in April? Uh, watch me remember talk about whatever happened in April after I'm done filming this video. Or hopefully if I'm still doing it. But uh, in May, towards the end of May, there was the whole thing with Roseanne, how she said something that was apparently perceived as racist. apparently towards someone who was at work for Barack Obama, and everybody was like rah rah and all that. And her show, Roseanne, who had the titular show based on the uh, that got canned even after it got retired, and even though it had been doing fantastic in the ratings, that they still pulled the plug. And if I understand right, I think their shows were being run by NBC or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but whatever network was being aired on, um, they pulled the plug on it, and then like months later, and I think they were all like, "Yeah, maybe we shouldn't have done that," because they did a bit of a knee jerk reaction to that. And I guess like and speaking of Mundane Matt, he's did a video on it, where apparently they missed out on a teaching moment. Well, then I guess he's maybe not too far off on that one. Um, just go listen to his video on the matter, and yeah, and uh, she was on Rogan within the last, I think it was maybe 2 or 3 months ago. Um, but yeah, I think right after it happened, I think at some she was supposed to be on his show talking about it, everything and what have you. But that didn't happen. But eventually, she did go on his show, and obviously, it shouldn't be too far hard to find because it's Joe Rogan. I mean, one of the most popular guys on the planet as far as podcasts are concerned. So yeah, so which I did listen to, by the way, the Roseanne podcast. Not when it actually happened in real time, but I did listen to it. So yeah, so just go check that out if you haven't listened to it yet. So um, let's see, um, see what else had happened and all that. You know, oh, let's see. One usually a bit of an interesting piece of news. I'm sure we all heard about a little bit was the Jamal Khashoggi killing that happened. Really got us talking about why we the United States are friends with Saudi Arabia and all that, which we shouldn't be, but we regretfully are. You know, the whole thing was pretty fucked up to begin with. The fact that this man died. Um, what's even more sad is that Trump administration we're not giving up the weapons deal that we have with them. Like, why would we do that? Essentially, what he said. Like, what the fuck? I mean, this man died, and like, you don't care. I mean, it's good. Yeah, finally got us talking a little bit about the fact that we're friends with Saudi Arabia. But it's kind of interesting that it took someone dying to talk about them, talk about it. So it's like, why weren't we talking about it before? So it's like, so I don't know. Another thing I can think of to talk about um is back in August, John McCain passed away. Um, obviously I think you know who John McCain is. I know that he was the 2008 Republican nominee for president, losing to Barack Obama. You know, kind of interesting how you kind of have to wonder what would have been like had he won. What would a President John McCain, like, what would it be like if we had him in the White House instead of Obama? What would a John McCain presidency have looked like? Because I mean, especially when you consider what kind of politician he I should say. I mean, I know that apparently he had a bit on record as a bit of a being a bit of a maverick and all that, as far as as politics is concerned is that while he voted conservative a good chunk of time, apparently he was willing to buck orthodoxy from time to time. Uh, so, um, I don't know how much of uh, that mythology, for lack of a better term, I'm not sure how much of that is true or false, but apparently had that reputation. One of which, kind of, where's some examples of that? Maverickness, if that's even a word. I know maverick is, but maverickness. Well, if it's not a word, it is now. Um, like, he kind of sort of saved Obamacare a little bit towards the end of July of last year, 2017, which I guess is much appreciated, I guess, in a sense. Even though, as an aside, we should go for a Medicare for all system, but that's another video for another time if I ever make one, and that's another discussion. But yeah, that's just my opinion. Um, uh, though he did say, in a way, can help people who are still on Obamacare by saying no or whatever, however, whatever response. Even although to be fair, it was probably yeah, just to take the piss out of Trump because given how Trump apparently really wasn't a fan of the guy, and especially with the whole oh, I like my POWs who aren't oh, I like my veterans who aren't POWs, because in reference to John McCain. So yeah, there's that. I think it's something I know I've learned from Kyle Kalinske. Apparently, he did try to put out some kind of document uh, or whatever, some kind of legislation that would address um, money in politics. Even though I understand, right, he still served his donors diligently, but he always tried to do something. So I don't know. But I'm just those are some prime examples I can think of or always what I know anyway. As far as him being a maverick, what else is there? I don't know. But yeah, there's that. John McCain passed away, and a month ago, we lost George H.W. Bush. Um, it's kind of interesting because George W. Bush was my first president, and by that I mean he was still in office when I was born. I was born in '92, and granted, '92 was an election year that year, but even then he was still in office. And from '93 to 2001, we had Bill Clinton. And even though I myself am aware he was president, I really don't remember his presidency at all. So, but I know he was president. So, but yeah, so I don't know how relevant it really is, but I just felt like talking about it. But yeah, um, but yeah, my first president passed away. So it's like, huh. I know how I found out. I saw Matt post an article saying John McCain, not John McCain, George H.W. Bush dead at 94. You know, like, wait, what? And so it's like, yeah. And based on what I've observed upon driving around there, there's some flags uh, um, that are still at half mast, as ordered by President Trump, even though the man's already 6 feet under by this point. So, why are they still keeping it up when it's been over a month? So, but I don't know. So, um, yeah. Um, um, what else is there to talk about? Well, The Last Jedi is a year old. Yes, my DVD Blu-ray combo pack still unopened. Anyway, I say that because I know that The Last Jedi has been a very divisive film. I mean, if you thought the prequels were divisive, how they got really split the fan base and with took 3 films to do that. Hey, uh, The Last Jedi did in one movie. I mean, there were a bunch of, I know a good chunk of YouTubers that did The Last Jedi 1 year later, talk about their thoughts and their experiences and all that. I had thought about doing that, but I don't know. No, but ultimately I didn't. So I mean, the only time I've seen the movie thus far was when I saw it in theaters, and I did so this past January. And I told myself that I liked it. But I think maybe I should probably sit down and watch it again and see how I really feel about it. Maybe just that on that, but just kind of get a better understanding of this, that, and the other. So what? Um, yeah, I think uh, I think a lot of people, well, um, didn't like the movie because I think um, I think a lot of it boiled down to poor writing. Um, uh, what else? Um, a lot of weird character depiction, all that kind of like you look at Luke Skywalker, for example, as portrayed in this movie, and then how he was portrayed in the original trilogy. Uh, they thought a lot of people thought he was out of character, at least in the sense of possible spoiler if you haven't seen it. But at one point apparently he tried to kill his nephew Kylo Ren, and he says, "Oh," ultimately he says, "I thought about it, but I didn't, and I regretted doing it. Regretted thinking that thought, but you know." And apparently that was the moment was the catalyst as to why Ben Solo became Kylo Ren. Um, and so anyway, a lot of people thought that Luke was out of character and all that, and just and so there's that, and just that Ryan Johnson kind of was given carte blanche basically as to uh, doing this, uh, having this movie be a. We know this movie followed up on The Force Awakens. Apparently, a lot of people just thought it was a poor follow up. Like writing, character motivations, character depictions, and or whatever. And, just you know what I mean. So just I mean, I'm sure there of course there are people who did legitimately enjoy this film, and it was the most common explanation is all it subverted your expectations, and I'm sure it did or whatever. But and I don't know, just it'd be kind of interesting to hear what people have to say about why they enjoyed it. So I don't know. Make of that last statement what you will, I suppose. But yeah, I don't know. Um, so I guess those are just some of the thoughts I got to talk about. I'm sure there are probably going to be some things that um I forget to say now, but I'll remember to say it after I'm done filming this video. I'm like, fuck, I should have said that because I've had that plenty of times. So kind of like I talked about George H.W. Bush. I forgot to talk about that in my last video, and here I am talking about it now. So, no, so I guess what was another thing to talk about? Um, I guess I'm getting a little bit into entertainment now. Power Rangers celebrated 25 years. It's like thought the show like that would last as long as it did. I mean, The Simpsons did. I mean, it's still going on, but Simpsons are Simpsons. So, but Power Rangers, yeah, must be doing something right. Sorry for the shakiness. I mean, yeah. Because our next season we're going to be getting Beast Morphers, which is adapted from Go Busters, um, the Super Sentai series. Which is kind of interesting because when they went from Megaforce Dino Charge, we were expecting Go Busters to be adapted, but they skipped it in favor of um, Dino Charge, of course, and people were kind of confused by that because there was the whole idea of you can't skip a Sentai. which is kind of why we got a hybrid of Ghost Agent and Gokaiger for Super Megaforce, well, Megaforce as a whole. So, and then there's also the idea of after Dino Charge, which would it be? Would we be getting? You know, ToQger or Ninja? We end up getting Ninja, which would be Ninja Steel for PR. And based on what I've observed, I guess there's PR, not PR. Ninja Steel was just kind of like a weak season overall, you know. And then again, I think there was a lot of flaws that the Neo Saban era has had. I mean, credit to it where it legitimately deserves it, but yeah, I think a lot of one of its yeah, sorry, I think a lot of the flaws come to like it's just a lot of subpar writing, and I think it's over dependence on Mighty Morphin. And when the first bit of Dino Charge happened, you know, it was a step in the right direction, but then it got squandered in the second half. So, um, so, um, I don't know. Just, I mean, it did put PR back on the map, I suppose, but just why? And just why? I mean, I think whatever plans that they did have with the franchise, if any at all, I think just, um, I think they just tried to recapture the magic that Mighty Morphin did back in the day. Just the magic that Mighty Morphin did have was a product of its time. I mean, I don't think you can really replicate that, and you already have to be pretty damn lucky. So, yeah. Um, I did watch the Dimensions in Danger episode of Ninja Steel. Um, I think I know a lot of people thought it was just rushed um and just all that. And I think even with how things turned out, even though they're being rushed and being largely a Tommy Oliver jerk off fest, you know, like, and I'm not dissing on JDF and all that, but I think well, maybe not jerk off fest, more like a wank fest, if you know what I mean. Not that I'm dissing Tommy Oliver or Jason David Frank, but even like that, I don't think probably it's as offensive as Legendary War episode in Super Megaforce, but I don't know. So, um, it's also kind of interesting because Peter Sudarso, who played Blue, his brother Yoshi Sudarso was a Blue from Dino Charge, so they were both there for this episode, but they were barely interacted in the very last episode. Um, uh, the Poise show, um, they actually had a lot more screen time together because you know Sledge came back, the main villain of Dino Charge, and hmm, so it seemed like it was a bit of a contingency plan, always in my opinion. That's how it came across. Like, oh, in case we don't get that satisfaction from Dimensions in Danger with Sudarso Bros hanging out together, then hey, let's do it just in case, just in case, like just in case there's they don't like this team up, you know what I mean? So because they had a lot more screen time the second time around than the first time, so um. But I remember where I was. I was actually in a hotel room watching said episode because I was on vacation. If you're wondering where, Gettysburg. Yeah, because I've been to Gettysburg many times, which as we know is in Pennsylvania. As a random side fact, I fucking got family in Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh to be exact, on my dad's side, through my grandfather. So yeah, but I know that's totally irrelevant. But I just felt like a little shameless bragger, I suppose. So um, but yeah, um, another thing about entertainment, this and the Han Solo movie came out in, in May, as opposed to December like the last three films did. 7, 8, and Rogue One. episode 9 is going to be coming out in December of next year. Next year, as of tomorrow, January 1st. I'm sure you know what I mean. I get to come out earlier because I don't want to have to wait that far, and I don't like having to. I don't, and all that. Just I don't know. I wish it would come out earlier, but yeah, because I always, that's part of it is too is because um, um, when you look at the end of the year, you always think about like past times and what's happened throughout the year, and it's like December is the last month and all that. I don't want to have to think about that in December of 2019, but yeah, so. But I don't know. I just wish it would come out earlier, but I guess we'll sort of have to see what happens and all that. So, and speaking of The Last Jedi, knowing how controversial it is, um, this is something I heard Monday Matt say. I know I'm just rambling on at this point, but let's just split episode 9 into two parts and just pretend like The Last Jedi never happened. I think we should just um, embrace that. At least just think about how not to make a Star Wars movie. Not that I'm bashing it, but I don't know. So I don't know. I don't know how much that has to do with 2018 at this point, but I know I'm just rambling. So yeah. So just I guess with all that said, thanks for hearing me listen. And just oh, and another thing I heard about too in the news that's happened in 2018 is apparently they're getting rid of Google Plus. I guess never really caught on. And I guess it tried to compete with Facebook. You've heard about it, you'll know why it. Apparently, I think it has something to do with people's data or whatever. I don't know, but what? Oh, I just hope they don't get rid of Google Hangouts. But I don't know. So I guess with all that said, that's thanks for hearing me out. And here's to 2019. And oh wait, yeah, no, I'm always saying, oh wait, there's more. I remember that. Speaking of June, which I also saw the Han Solo movie, by the way, if you're curious. There was that shooting in Annapolis, Maryland. That happened towards the end of June and all that. It is really kind of a shame that the shootings in this country happen so often that, well, we're just numb to it, and especially when you consider how um, I'm I'm from Annapolis, so you'd think it ought to be been like, oh my god, but I don't know. So just hopefully it doesn't happen anywhere around here. But just or I don't want shootings to happen at all. But yeah. So with all that said, I guess just here to 2019. Rate, comment, subscribe, and see you next time. See you next year. Bye, guys.